All right, you all probably know by now that I like my music loud and my skateboards electric. Yeah. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at an electric shortboard from Maxfind that really surprised me because I'm usually not a big fan of the shortboards. This is the brand new Maxfind Cyber Mini Pro. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, I'm just really not a huge fan of electric shortboards. You know, a longboard I feel more secure on. I'm over 50 years old, so I need to have that little bit of security when I'm riding these things. So I tend to shy away from the shortboards. When Maxfind asked me if I wanted to review this one, I said, yeah, I actually do. I like their boards. They're different. They don't use grip tape on top of them. You know, the sandpaper type grip tape. Instead, they use like a rubber mat on there that's textured, and I found that I really like it. The boards are made of a composite material. It's fully recyclable, and it's flexy. You know, it's got that little flexy pop to it. This one a little bit less because it's not as long of a board, but still has that same flexible deck to it. They've also added new wheels to this one. They're calling them space wheels. They have that hollow pore situation going on, somewhat like a Mad Wheel, but these have much bigger holes in them. They have a lot of flexibility. They're very large wheels, and I really enjoy riding this board. Now, it's been really, really hot and windy lately here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, but I was able to get it out one day at 9 o'clock in the morning where it was feels like temperature of 108. So I thought it was a good test for this because will this board throw up any heat warnings or anything like that? It is a belt version of it. They've got 4 different versions of it. Let's just go through some of the specs and then we'll get right into the ride and talk. The 4 different versions of it, there's the Cyber Mini Air, which is 99 watt hours. Technically, that should be able to fly on just about any plane, you know, at least here in the US. Their limitations are it has to be 99 watt hours or below. So this comes in right at the top of that. Battery's not removable, so you'll have to find, I would just recommend that you talk to your airline first, but if you're looking for a board that you could take along with you on a business trip or whatever and go skate a little bit, this might be an option for you. That one's only $399, and then you've got the Cyber Mini, keeping in mind that those first 2 options are hub drive boards. If you're not familiar, a hub drive board means that the wheel itself in the back is the motor, and it's got a little sleeve around it. To me, I just don't like them because they're a really rough ride and you don't have as many wheel options, you know, not a lot of flexibility, and on this case, they're urethane wheels. Got the Cyber Mini Pro, which is what I'm actually reviewing today, and the Cyber Mini X. The description doesn't change though. The world's first cyberpunk electric skateboard, innovative flex composite deck, 31 miles per hour top speed, and 34 miles top range, with 35% hill climbing. I can definitely attest to the hill climbing. I don't have any examples of that in this video, but I did test it on that. Does fine with that. I don't know about the range. I haven't gone, what they say, 34 miles? I haven't gone 34 miles on this. I've gone about 20 miles, maybe about 25. Based on what I'm seeing on the remote, it might make that 34 mile range. And 31 mile per hour top speed, I think it would be able to do that in 4th gear. You do have to remember when we're talking about specs, they test these boards probably with a 165-pound rider in perfect conditions, no hills and all that kind of stuff, so your mileage may vary, you know what I'm saying? Now you can see the hub motor and the belt motor, and with the belt motors, they're up underneath the board. They say you can experience 80% more efficiency than standard batteries with premium Samsung cells and IPX5 waterproof protection, built to push limits safely and smartly. Uses an ABS energy recovery, so it charges the board when you're braking, and they have a smart BMS in there. As far as the ESC or the brain, they have the Hobbywing V6 FOC ESC for butter smooth acceleration and braking. It does have one-tap startup. When you hit that remote, it'll turn the board on. If it doesn't, the board has probably been off for a few days, so you might have to turn the board on down there at the bottom once again, but usually within 48 hours of using the board, you should be able to do it with one tap. They also have multi-protections, OVP, UVP, OTP, and stall guard. Oh, and they did mention IPX5 for waterproofing. That's not waterproofing, okay? I would not take this thing in the water. I don't take any electric skateboard in the water. They're just really not made for that. And what IPX5 is typically like, you know, water spraying at it. So like if you went through water and your wheels kicked up water onto the board, it should be okay, but don't think you can take this thing in the rain. You really never should do that. A couple of other little things. It has a concave of 7 millimeters, so it really locks your feet in there. The deck is extended, so it's 32 inches long, 12 inches wide. Got a classic kicktail design on here, and it even has a little puck, so as you'll see in the demo, you can just pop that thing up and just like a regular skateboard. And they say carbon fiber coating. I guess that might be on the X version of it. The trucks are 45 45-degree precision forged trucks with 98A bushings. And there's the wheels again, 107 millimeter space wheels, the world's first revolutionary wheels. I don't know about that. Offer cloud-like comfort with ultra-soft 74A urethane and a reinforced nylon core for smooth, vibration-free rides on any terrain. And it does have a tread pattern on it, which I think is kind of nice. All right, well, that was a lot. Let's get right to that ride and talk. We'll come back and I'll give you my final impressions on the board. All right, it is hot as Hades out here and pretty windy, so I'm not sure how much ride and talk I'm gonna get to do today. But yeah, I've ridden this a couple of times and I like it. It's very much like riding a old school skateboard. Right now I've got the throttle nailed and I'm in the first gear, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears. So we're in the next one here. So that first gear would be like just, cruising down the sidewalk. Second gear, definitely have more speed, 26 kilometers. Feeling nice and stable. The board feels really, really solid. I'm gonna flip around here and we'll go into third. I'm not even gonna worry about fourth gear because a short board like this, call me a wimp or whatever, I just don't feel all that secure riding a short board going 35 or 31 miles an hour, which is what they claim. All right, so third gear, full throttle. All right, so that was 33 kilometers per hour. Not too bad. Wheels, they do really good going over rough stuff. They feel very comfortable. This is not a light board, so let's see what happens if I try to flip it up using the kicktail. Not a problem. Look at that. Very nice. Pretty much like a regular skateboard. All right, let's check the brakes on here. Get a little bit of speed. Oh man, brakes are super smooth on this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and try this on some grass. I'm gonna go over to this shade here because it is blazing hot. I think the feels like temperature is around 108. Not too bad. All right, I threw that. Okay, let's put this up on the table here. Since we're in the shade, is that this thing does have lights, so we're going to hit this button, the power button, twice. 1, 2. And now we've got lights. There we go. You can see them on there. I'm going to flip the board over. There we go. So you can see when we accelerate, we're going to go through a series of lights. And then when you brake, I thought it went all red when you brake. When you brake, it kind of gives you a dotted response. It seems like a different response every time. But we also do have brake lights on the back. Yeah, see? The dotted response when we're braking. All right. It's a good looking board too. I mean, got the little rubber stopper up here in the front. And at first I was like, why is it loose like that? Well, that's because it allows for flexibility if it does bang into something. And then you've also got more of like a puck for your kicktail back there. So pretty sweet. know, the wheels on here are surprisingly comfortable. I say surprisingly because I'm new to them. I feel like the convex of them, or concave, however you want to call it, I feel like that helps them to stick a little bit. They're not too soft and they're not too hard. The holes that are in them definitely add to some shock absorption, so that's always good. And they're big wheels, which helps because, as you see, we've got pine cones and crap all in here, and pine cones are notorious for stopping a board, so it's nice that you can roll over a lot of stuff. Now, I was wondering about my foot position on here too, because the wheels right here, they're big, and I thought, man, we might have some wheel bite. And if you do, it might be my toe. But I haven't had any problem with that, and I did tighten the trucks just a little bit. All right, my microphone died, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but I've gone 6 miles and I've only lost 1 bar on the power on the remote, on the board that is. But as a matter of fact, yeah, on the board, not the remote. So yeah, that's not too bad. And once again, look at this. Whoop. Oh, I love that. That is very, very nice. Very cool. All right, what I want to do right now is I want to test how tight I can turn with these. Now, they're TKP, I'm sorry, they're RKP. And I have tight. Let's see. Okay, no wheel bite. That's what I want to see right there. I'm going to try it that way. My foot position is that of like a regular skateboard. I want to take care of that when I have two front. No wheel bite, and all's good. So I like that. Man, it is hot as Hades out here, and that is another observation I've made because I wasn't sure. This is the hottest day that I've ridden this, and it feels like temperature right now, even at 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning, whatever time it is right now, is 108 degrees. So a lot of humidity, a lot of heat, and it hasn't thrown up any warnings. Everything seems to be fine. So there you have it, the Maxfind Cyber Mini Pro version. And again, there are, what, 4 versions of it? It may be blasphemous to some in the ESK8 community, but I'm gonna say that this might be the best shortboard experience overall that I've had in a production package that comes right off the line. No changing of the wheels or anything like that. This is it's a really nice little shortboard, and I kind of expected to ride it for the review and go, you know, it's all right. But I'm keeping it. I really like this board, and I think it's going to be perfect for some situations where I don't want to have my big long board. And just so you know, looking further in the specs, I see that the Cyber Mini Pro is a 28-mile range, so the X is the 34-mile. And I think the big differences in here might just be the battery, because as you can see there, the battery is a little different when it comes to the X. But for the one that I'm riding, it is a Samsung 21700 10S2P configuration. So it's kind of nice that they have options there. If you want to get a hub board and you want something that you can fly with, that might be the perfect option for you. But either way, find your favorite and there you go. Oh, and I didn't mention that it also uses the Tuya app. There's an app that's kind of a general app that a lot of different manufacturers can tie into to use. I didn't use it on this board, but it does allow further customization of the board, and it's free, so that's pretty cool. So what do you think? Do you like the short boards? Do you like long boards? What do you like better? Let me know down in the comments, and yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to hear what you got to say about this board because I was blown away surprised at how much I really like it. The Maxfind Cyber Mini Pro in this case, and I want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, always very important to my channel, so if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there, and notification bell, click both of those. you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. It's not inexpensive to run these channels, so if you're so inclined, want to toss a couple bucks my way, there's a thanks button down below this video. Click that and it makes it real easy for you. But either way, I'm just glad that you're here and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you so much for watching. And that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.